Hello everybody, and welcome back. This is More Dominion 5. We are playing a 1v1 with Agartha versus Orm. And we are in turn 6. There was a battle in Kondor. We have finished our research in Conjuration, by the way. We're going to go on to Conjuration level 2. There's a battle in Kodokar. And we have a little bit of extra units here, huh? Right, I think Pippin recruited some extra units for us just to have as chaff. And while he was side searching. And we are up against just normal militia and some heavy infantry. Not really a problem for our shot guard. Again, the shot guard should probably be pushed up a little bit more to make contact earlier and take more of the heat, since they have the affliction resistance and are pretty good and tanky. But they like, it works out pretty well for us, and the Ancient One comes in on top of them this time, which is nice, and then the rest of the units will flood in. They aren't super killing the shotgun. We only have seven of them, so it is what it is here. But it ends up working out rather well. We kill everything without too much of a hassle. I think we take a little bit of attrition in standard units every turn, or every battle, which is hard to prevent, but we could push up the shot guards a little bit more. Losing one of them, though, is not worth it. So it's a tricky balance. And we don't take any losses in shot guard, and I want to make sure. Alright, so here we take 4 diseases, and I'm sure for some of you there are some alarm bells ringing right now. And I'm thinking, I don't think I thought really hard about it when this happened. I think at this point I thought that sometimes you get diseases from battle, and that can be something. That might be a thing. But for some of you, you might be guessing that there might be a magic site in this Kodokar province. And if that is the case, then I should avoid moving units through Kodokar for the next good while until we get it searched in death. Am I right? Probably right about that. That's a bit of a spoiler, maybe. An unexpected event has occurred in Agartha. Some magical gems have been found, 2 major gems, and another one in Kodokar we get. So all things considered about this province, we now get province income plus 50 here, which is nice, up to 71 despite it being almost no population, which may also speak to a death magic site here. And I haven't been boosting province defense here. I'm doing it in all the other provinces, up to 6. Any recruitment in the smaller ones? Yes, we're doing a scout here now. And in the capital we have our first Ancient One out. He will be grabbing the army that has been produced there, and that's 17 shotgun now, so definitely worthy of an additional expanded party. This is the setup we'll be using. These guys here have combat speed 6, so a little bit higher than the shotgun, and they don't get the bless. So we'll be putting them behind, and they will sort of trickle in and fill the holes. Meanwhile, these wet ones are placed all the way at the back, because they are really, really weak. And the thing about them is that they are meant for the underwater fights and not for taking indies up here. So Gem Thought here will likely be going up here to range of light, and then follow it, go east from there and into the water, and sort of claim this area up here, and then move into the water. So I think that is his planned route. He was pretty lucky, by the way. He got a double death from the first one, which is nice to have. But we'll be sending him out to both. Like, he's as good as a prophet in he can do the divine blessing and spam the smite spell right off the bat, which is amazing. So I love these guys so much. One thing about these guys is that you could prophetize one of them, and then they will go to priest level 4, which is really, really good. But you also want a prophet early, right? So if you want to, like, we are in turn 6. So if I wanted to prophetize him, I mean, I could have gotten him in turn 5, because I skipped the recruitment turn 1 time. But then you want to prophetize him, so that's another turn. So you could send him out in turn 6 as a prophet. And then we wouldn't have had a prophet to expand into all of this. So I think not privatizing this guy in the beginning is a mistake, because you want that for the early expansion party. I think that that's at least what I have concluded, and I will probably do the same again when he dies. And if he dies, which he probably will at some point, you can prophetize an Ancient One to get a Priest level 4 and spam out fanaticism with them, which is amazing. And I think that that does happen later in the series. That I'm not going to promise it, but I think so. We are moving on into the next one here. Did we lose units? I think I already showed. Yeah, we lost 4. So we are taking some attrition on our expansion party here, but we will be pushing forward. Even the 7 shot guards alone could claim a lot of different provinces, but they do need some chaff to guarantee it, and we still have that. So we can take another province for sure. In the capital, we're doing sort of the same thing again. More of these wet ones and more shot guard, and mixing in these defenders of the halls, and we're just going to be producing Oracle of the Ancients in the capital for the rest of the game. We go up here, claim that, might even site search here, and then move over here, and then the rest of the army that has been produced in those 2 turns will be able to join in that group over here. I think that is the reasoning at this point. So that's this turn. Yep, let's just jump into the next one. On to turn number 7. Where are we? Here, 2007. Pippin has searched Korkar for magic sites, but none were found, so far no magic sites. There was a battle in the range of light. And that is our new expansion party with 17 shot guard. We are up against a primarily ranged force, but also some heavy cav, and they will be slamming into our shot guard. Let's see if that does anything. Took a hit here, but no affliction. Yeah, they didn't really take any damage, and then they murder the cavalry. The archers won't do a lot either. We have the problem with these wet ones. See, now the speed difference is major difference. And what I probably should have done here is, since I've already committed myself to getting reinforcements from the capital of the next province, I should have left the wet ones behind so they didn't take an attrition in this fight, because we only lose wet ones. No, we do lose a shot guard. My bad. We lose 1 shot guard. Alright. In the Blackdale, we have our prophet expanding with his party against Lion Tribe. The ranged fire doesn't really hurt us. And then when the melee starts, we lose chaff, but we don't really lose shot guard. And the archers are not an issue. At least most of our chaff has shields, right? So we lose a lot of chaff, but no shot guard. And I want to just keep checking. Okay, we got 1 affliction up here. Alright. And here we have gotten an affliction. And then the 2 deceased units are bad for us, but not something we can really do anything about. Pippin has site searched this province and didn't find anything. Didn't get a disease either. That's nice. And yeah, Nob has now started a palisade in Blackdale here. So that's why he was following the army. He will immediately start a fort here, and the scout up here will expand. Gemthought is staying here to search. Maybe a mistake. We could expand in here right now. But next turn, an Oracle of the Ancients will come in here. With this new army, I went into 0 gold. Right, because I wanted the palisade over here. So we start a fort in turn 7, which is what people are saying to me, telling me I should do, and I like that idea. So I think that was a really good. So far, the opener is pretty good from our for the most part. We took 2 provinces in 1 turn here. We will be taking 1 more instead of 2 more, but we will get this one for sure next turn. Taking this underwater province is actually pretty difficult because while we have underwater units, amphibian units, these guys are poor amphibians and they are in their home turf while we will not be. Yeah, and we get a new famous hero. Oh, right. Vitiges has managed to make himself a heroic unit, and he's now got enormous strength, which is pretty sucky. But I suppose, no, well, I'll take it, whatever. It's one bonus is better than no bonus. And now he hits harder in melee. Yeah, not really useful for his spellcasting, but whatever. Anything else? An unexpected event. Oh, we lost some tax in the Blue Moss Forest. Too bad. Research. We are still moving on to conjuration level 2. Let's jump into the next turn. Let's see if we can do 5 turns in this one as well. I think that should be possible. Down to NT level 8. Level 8. I keep saying level when I want to say turn. No magic sites for Gem Thought. Then there was a battle in Windsong Forest. Divine Blessing, and we have some standard ED chaff. Gem or Shotguard connects first, and they kill everything. But once we get to the archers, the Shotguards start lagging behind, and that's really unfortunate. The Ancient One has survived all this time, which is nice, but probably more luck than anything else. We lose nothing this time around. Nice. And we didn't get any new afflictions at least. We have weakened on one of them here. Our 2 guards here are dying from the disease, which is unfortunate. But it is what it is. We're now searching here with Pippin, and I think at this point I'm not certain that 21 units can expand into any of the neighboring provinces. Could have maybe gone up here, it's tough to say. But we will be recruiting some reinforcements here for villages. There's also a death level 3 in here, ouch. Yeah. But no new diseases for anyone, so that's at least something. And Vichiges will just search this province for magic sites, but arguably he should maybe have preached a little bit to get our dominion going in these provinces with more growth and such, giving us more money. Oh well. Up here, Pebblehand and Gem Thought are now working together, and they will move in here and slaughter this province. I don't think that this will be a contest at all. We now have 26 Shotguards. Yeah, that's going to be pretty good. Anything else? No. Recruitment. Good old Oracle of the Ancients, and then some secrets. Just checking whether we are starting recruitment of anything else. I don't think we are. No. All good. On to turn number 9. Turn number 9. Boom. Agartha. 2 sites, 2 mages that don't find any magic sites. You will note that at this point I have not found a single magic site, despite being sort of, I think, a little bit diligent with my site searching. Not a single one found. And I always do a lot of site searching because I love finding magic sites, and I do it early and as much as possible, and I am being punished really hard, I feel. Oh well, that was battle in Giant's Rest. So our Shotguard Sacred Army here is gonna slaughter this little group of Indies. Not a biggie. I doubt we lose anything here. Nah, we don't. A new famous hero. So Nob here. So the thing about a 1v1 is that there are not a lot of contests for the Hall of Fame, right? Oh, we can see some of Olm's here. Right, and I did notice, I don't think I've mentioned it, but Olm has bought mercenaries, and they have this, the consort and his heroic quickness. So this tells us that he might be going into the water. He has bought mercenaries that are amphibian, and I think he's making the play for the water. He has gone onto the Hall of Fame with no less than 3 Black Lords, and they are all dead. And at this point I'm wondering, what is my opponent doing? Is he just, like, dilly-dallying around and doing silly things? So what's happening here? I'm not sure. So I think I did check the Hall of Fame around this time, and I thought, hey, I must be doing a lot better than he is, because he is throwing away Black Lords. Like, this is not even fun. Battle Prowess, Extraordinary Agility, and Battle Prowess again, which are really good heroic abilities for Black Lords, and then he's losing them. That doesn't really click with me, but will you guys and I will hopefully be able to check his videos as well and see how that went about. We can check the mercenaries. He's still got these shipwreckers, and he's got, I think he has expanded the contract at least once. So if we know that he's in this side of the island, he's probably in the water either here or here at this point. Villages will now expand with his new units and into this here, the Nidian range. Okay, so one of these site searches up here is worth noting that was villages with his holy searching, so not very likely to find anything. But Pippin didn't find anything either, and he's now building a lab here in Blackdale for the fort. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Did he stop his production of the fort? We'll be checking next turn. That would be another... that's another play mistake for me if that is the case. I hope that that's me logging into the turn later and having maybe changed it around. I don't know. I think we just clicked on him a second ago to check his... No, we didn't. He got unequaled obesity. I hope he's still building the fort this turn. He should be. Up here, Gemthought will stay behind to search, and then Pebblehand will take the army and lead it on. We don't need two Oracle of the Ancients to lead an army at this point against Indies. So, site searching more is a good thing. Nothing else really going on in the capital. We are getting another Oracle of the Ancients out, and we're doing more sacred production. We're getting one extra light infantry in here. He should be cancelled or whatever. And that's the end of turn 9. Nothing else really. Nope. Let's just do turn 10. We are sort of rushing through the turns here to get to the good part. Agartha, turn 10. Gemthought didn't find any magic sites. No surprise there at this point. We are attacking underwater. And here we have the underwater forces. There's not as many as we were told on the world map. We do have a bunch of shot guards, so we should be okay here. Yeah, it's not really a contest. Cool that our wet ones, they change their sprite when they're underwater, because they are really good at swimming. So that's what they're doing, they're swimming. Instead of walking around underwater. And in the Nudian range, our prophet is expanding with his little expansion party. Against a bunch of indies, shouldn't be much of a contest. So even with 7 shot guards, you can do some really, really nice expansion. Yeah, they will win and lose some chaff, but that's it. Up here we lost nothing. And a new famous hero again, that's probably Pippin. So just checking here, we have gotten one affliction here, but everything else gets a lot of afflictions, as you can tell. And down here we still only have 1. We now got more diseases for people, so that might have been in here. I didn't check last turn, but it could also be a death site in here causing things. Okay, and it's nice to see here that Nob is now down to 1 month remaining on the build Palisades, so he didn't skip a turn as we saw that he was gonna do. I don't know why. Must have clicked on something after logging in. And then here we're now recruiting a Lion Tribe Witch Doctor, which is all good and well. We can site search for nature as well, and we might get some of these other random paths, which we already have, but a nature 2 would be amazing. That's really all we can use him for, but I'm gonna get a few of them at least to run around and search for nature sites, which would be nice. Breaking into nature, right now we don't have any income in it, and we don't have any income in any of these things other than our start income, so it is on terrible so far. We didn't find anything with Gemthought, I think I already mentioned, and then Pippin got Valor as his heroic trait, which is not really useful. No, it's not at all, but whatever. I'll take it. We can check the Hall of Fame. So we now have 3 guys on here, and he has his prophet and the mercenary, then nothing else. Have I shown everything? In here we're now doing another Golem Crafter, I think because I couldn't afford an Ancient one and the Temple. So I wanted to prioritize getting the Temple the same turn as we get the Palisades up and running. Which is maybe not necessary, but I want Pippin to go on site search more. So instead of wasting a turn here with him, he needs to build the Temple now and then move out. So we are skipping 1 Ancient Oracle recruitment and just doing a Golem Crafter in here, which is fine. because once we reach Conjuration level 2, we need a Golem Crafter in the capital. I don't think I've mentioned it, but the Barathas Pact and the other one, I'll go and check on them here. Ruach's Pact and the Barathas Pact can only be cast at the roots of the earth, which is the site here in the capital. So they are restricted to here. Excuse me. What I would have preferred to do, of course, is to keep Oracle of the Ancient production up in here, and then outside of the capital in the first fort, get that up and running early, and then recruit a Golem Crafter out here, and then run them home. And you could do the same for the Earth Reader that you want to use the scrying thing. Ideally, you would recruit only Oracle of the Ancients in the capital, and then run the other mages from an outside fort in here. But, you know, real life and theory doesn't always overlap, so I would want to use the capital even when we can't afford an Oracle of the Ancients, so it turns out to be a Golem Crafter. We could have done, I suppose, see, you need to cancel a lot of the Shard Guard, right? So it's, and those are also cap only, so it's really comes down to, do you want to skip on 5, 4 Shard Guards to get 1 Oracle of the Ancients? That's a tough question, really. I think either is a decent choice. But this saves us from recruiting a Golem Crafter in the other fort and having to run him in, which is also a waste of resources in his movement turns. So it's fine. It's fine. Our guy here who side searched didn't find anything. Now we're moving Basalt out here with a new expansion party. Yeah, I think he will try to connect with villages here. Oh, this is winter in the year 0, so he could have actually moved across the ice up here right now, which he probably will not be able to do next turn, unfortunately, because we have fire in our heat in our dominion, so this will probably melt. And at this point, I don't think I realized that we can't walk over, or if I didn't, then we would have walked over here to connect with that Oracle of the Ancient and his reinforcement troops. I would have liked to unite those two armies and attack in here, but I think the ice melts here next turn, and then we cannot. So, a little bit of unfortunate events here. Whoops, delete the flags. Pebblehand doesn't spend any time side searching. He will move on and expand over here. We have our scout up here just to get some accurate intel on these provinces. This is a farmland and a nice fort location, so I'm probably building a fort here. At least I'm considering it at this point for the second fort. Also far away from the enemy, so less likely to be captured, which is nice. Good place for a little research center, which, by the way, these two out here are both farmland as well, which is really, really nice. So good islands for me to get some forts up and sitting on, since they cannot be taken easily by all, and can send most of my units that I will be recruiting in forts are amphibious, and then they can attack his territories through the sea route rather easily. And then that's sort of it for this turn. Indeed. Yep, that was turn 10, so the end of the episode. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you are enjoying this 1v1, and stay tuned for more. See you next time. Bye.